Does Connor just come straight into the starting 11?
Yeah, we've got a couple of options in the wide areas as well. So Andrew Naboot likes going to Sydney and travelling there as well, so he'll come into contention also. Final decision will be made, but we've trained throughout the week with both of them having a go in there.
How did Mitch Nichols pull up after Saturday night?
Yeah, he's a little bit sore. We had to look after him at the start of the week, but he's trained the last 2 days fully, so he's okay, no problems.
What's the biggest threat that Sydney poses?
Oh, look, I watched, I've analysed them and had a good look at them. Last week they were good. The scoreboard tells you they lost 1-0, and a lot of things get written during the week, but they played well last week. A lot of pace up front. Even the boys who come on, Yao and these guys, have got a lot of pace up front, and Del Piero's now fit. So, look, it's going to be a good challenge for us. These games are normally pretty good games as well to travel across to Sydney, and enjoyable ones. So hopefully this one will be no different.
How do you analyse the attacking threat to a team that hasn't scored in 4 weeks? Do you look at what the defences have done against them and try and replicate that, or?
It's more so about how we set up, to be honest. Emulating what other teams have done probably doesn't interest me. It's more about improving how we defend, we've been okay defensively. We've actually done very, very well. Obviously conceded a couple last week that we weren't pleased with, but as I said, they've got a number of threats, and given Del Piero time in the attacking third, he's got a lot of quality and he can hurt you, and there's a lot of pace around him, so we're going to have to be good on the weekend.
Were you happy enough with how Pablo settled back into the lineup last week?
Yeah, I think we've got to take into consideration it was Ollie's second game, and he joined later in the pre-season for us, and then missing the 2 games wasn't ideal, but he gives us a certain calmness as well, and give him another opportunity as well to actually see how quick the games are here. And I thought last week was a good example of the fact that he knew he was under pressure for a lot of the times, and going into Sydney it was good preparation for him.
You mentioned Nambu in the Sydney game last year. Surely you use him as a secret weapon off the bench again.
Well, if he tells me he's going to score 2 when he comes on, I'll certainly keep it in mind. But yeah, he's been waiting patiently as well, and so has Connor Payne. So like I said, an opportunity has arisen for one of them, it's now up to them to take it.
And just on Del Piero, what do you expect from him first game starting?
Well, like I said, we've all had a good enough look at him now, and he's certainly got a lot of quality. And the team seems to lift when he does play. Again, it's we'll try and control the game early on, and hopefully maintain it for longer periods this week, and that's certainly been a focus for us.
Frank Farina's a man under enormous pressure in Sydney this week. He's, I think, spoken publicly about trolls on social media, or even sort of getting him down. Do you sense an opportunity to maybe put a nail in the coffin?
Knowing Frank as well as I do, it'd be water for ducks back. He's certainly been in these situations before, and again, his mentality, pressure only comes from within. If you're going to pick up papers and read about and take all that into consideration, you'll end up missing and taking your eye off what you're meant to be doing. And I've no doubt they would have prepared well for this game. And as I said, internally, I think they'll be very pleased about the way they played last week.
So you say the Sydney boys lift when Del Piero's back in the team, but you're not expecting any sort of emotional reaction from them, given what Carl was talking about with the speculation around Frank?
Yeah, look, if you start having to rely on motivation and emotion to get you up for a football game, you're probably in the wrong industry. As expected here, I don't expect people to be motivated more so one week to the next. The reality is you should be motivated 100% all the time. And I've no doubt, like I said, that after their performance last week, them being at home, they'll take some confidence from that.
Even though you're away from home, given your impressive form recently and their struggles, is the onus on the Victory to go out and attack in Sydney?
Well, from our perspective, the onus is on us to play our brand of football. And last week that was a disappointing thing, because I thought for long periods, for half hour, 35 minutes in the first half, we did do so. For certain things that we have had a look at, we've got to maintain that for longer periods, because it didn't look like Melbourne Victory in the second half, and we give Wellington a little bit of confidence and played them back to the game.
You said when you took over the role that you weren't as feisty as a coach as you were necessarily as a player. Did you find that testing last week?
No, it was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and it's one of those. I've focused on staying in control, because I believe you make better decisions. As simple as that. And I've learned that firsthand through my playing career, that when I wasn't in control, maybe I made poor decisions. But at this point in time, it was as soon as the game finished, it was preparing for Sydney. It's going to be a tough game for us, and one we're going to go there and try and win.
And just on a personal level, the Big Blue must be a nice milestone as a coach to be a part of something like that.
Yeah, and the second week in a row that I'm playing against a coach that's that I've played under. So good to go up there and see Frankie and hopefully get the same result as we got against Ernie in Wellington.